Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign November 2024 will bring you some significant life-changing events around the way you earn your money, the job you have, the reputation and career space are all in a transitional energetic. But on top of that, the way you handle those significant long-term love relationships and your proximity to the people who are important to you may also be coming into a time of greater distance. We'll talk about what this month ahead looks like for you Aquarians. I am one of you. But before we get started in the next 25 to 30 minutes together, let me say a couple of things. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac and the whole sign house system, and fixed stars and minor asteroids are part of my specialty. We're using astrology to help you time your best life. We use it as a navigational tool. So in our time together, the other thing I'd like to share with you before I delineate the details of this month for you is that I have my horoscope to time your best year of 2025 now available in pre-sale, delivered on November 17th. This is because I am doing a production run right now for this content. It is up to 2 hours long for each separate sign, a PDF guidebook just for you. Never will this be on YouTube. This is private sale only. It's my yearly fundraiser. You can also buy the bundle. It's more cost effective, 12 signs, 24 hours of video and audio content. You can download that content. You can watch it forever on my private video playlist that I'll be offering to you guys. And you help my channel grow because I buy my laptops, my equipment, like my microphones and everything I need, my lighting kits, but also and this laptop's ready to die. I need a better one. But also I hire staff, time stampers and people to help me do video editing on my channel for the shorts. That money that I raise from selling this product is where this money goes to. It helps me build the channel and grow the business. Thank you. If you want to buy that, sign up now, pre-sale price, and all the information pinned to the top of the comments and also in the description box. Now let's talk astrology. Aquarius. It is quite a month for us because we're getting ready to receive Pluto again into the bosom of our Aquarian nature. Whether it's your sun, career and purpose, moon, home and safety, or your Aquarius rising, everything about you and your character in the game of life. On November the 19th, 20th, it is the return of Pluto to the sign of Aquarius. And he will be in our sign for the next 20 years. By far, this is the biggest energy field that is shifting for us because it's slow, transpersonal, and glacial in movement. It takes 20 years for us to learn all the lessons that Pluto would like us to learn about power and about wealth, and about transformation and about rebirth. But just know Pluto's back in the month of November. It's a big deal. And he does never going back to Capricorn, our 12th house. So we'll talk more about the last gasp in Capricorn shortly. We also notice that this is a month for us Aquarians where we're highly pleased to be benefiting from the continual presence of Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. This is our creativity, our children. Our children have greater luck. My daughter got a great job and now a great rental. It gives our existing children luck, but it also flows back to our fifth house at us, and we feel more creative, inspired, more joyful, more willing to be entrepreneurial, more invested in finding the spark of what inspires us in life. And as Jupiter is still retrograding here, he started the retrograde in October, will be retrograde till February. We're deepening our bounty. Now, it is a place of money luck, meaning all Aquarians can either get pregnant, Jupiter in the fifth house, have grandchildren, Jupiter in the fifth house, or win some money in speculative winning ways of chance, like a lottery, yes. So Jupiter is definitely continually giving us these blessings as he's in our fifth house, and that continues again throughout the entirety of November. Lord Saturn is traveling through Pisces through till 2026. And that's just an ongoing story that continues in November with the caveat that he will turn around direct, where he's been retrograding since June in the sign of Pisces. If you are an Aquarius rising, that's your money house. And we're going to be talking about that because we've got a lot of action going on this month for money changes for us. And one of least but not least is Saturn has pulled back from his retrograde, and on the 15th of November starts to go forward. So things you've been revising since June, reconsidering, or kind of pausing on, you're now ready to go back into full motion around earnings, possessions, resources, and money. I will be showing you the sky after I do the overview, and we'll be going details into week by week, but bear with me while we continue the overview. The other thing to note as an Aquarius rising or sun or moon is the energetics of what Mars is up to this month. Mars is moving out of his 2-month stay in the sign of Cancer, and that's a sign of his fall or his detriment, and he will shift his gears into the sign of Leo. Now, Cancer for us is our house of health matters, and a lot of us may have found that September, October, we went on new dietary programs, exercise programs. I sure did, and that's a part of what he can do is help us heal the health issues through movement or dietary changes as he flows to our second house. But he also may have had us working our asses off September and October in our career, our work, our job area. Some of us are ready to quit. Some of us may have gotten fired even, but we're just working hard. We're putting a lot of drive, ambition into that 6th house of work. And now he goes into direct, he moves out of that part of the sky on the 4th of November and heads into our 7th house of significant long-term love partners. Now, look, Mars separates, he doesn't unite. And when Mars is in your 7th house of long-term love partners or business partners, there's going to be distance. It may just be a geographical thing. I've noticed quite often it just means one partner's traveling. There's a reason to be separate. There's some division between you. On the other hand, you could have more intense discussions, more combative, difficult, gnarly tension between you and some business or love partner. Also, it's your audience and your marketplace. And if you want to ever, the word troll, that would be Mars in your 7th house coming at you. A lot of trolls, a lot of gnarly people wanting to shoot bows and arrows at you. You know, you must be doing something right if you get that much hate on you, right? You must be, controversy is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you're doing something that's stirring people up. So that could happen to be a story in November, starting on the 4th of November. Yes, all the way through until January when Mars is in that 7th house. For most of us, it's going to be time apart, likely from some significant other or some kind of legal contract battles and you know, fights over legal contractual agreements of some sort for some of us. Mars is not a happy camper. When he is in opposition to our body mind complex as an Aquarian. So we have to figure out why we're getting so much friction from other people. That's the gist of that for sure. Now, as we go into the movement of the planet Venus in the month ahead, she is going to be spending the first 11 days in our house of good spirit. This is a place where we do not mind her. She got into the house of good spirit, which is our 11th house Sagittarius zone, back in on October the 17th. She leaves on November 11th. She's good for more fun with friends, social groups, females in particular who are benefactors, allies, favoring you, helping you, things to do with greater career gains financially, glow up there, money, reputation-wise, maybe positive developments like fun with colleagues, coworkers, fun with social groups of friends, more pleasure there. And if you have a sibling older than you by one, above you, a greater connection to that sibling and blessings for that sibling as Venus travels through Sag. But then on the 11th, she'll transition into Capricorn, your 12th house. Now, for the most part, this can be a time in which you're doing pleasurable, quiet bed pleasures, things that bring you pleasure alone, home alone, November the 11th, right, through to December the 8th. That includes sexy time, private time, creative downtime, ashram, sexual pleasure downtime, going off and doing foreign shore travel just for pure pleasure and enjoyment and solitude. Yes, that can happen as well, November 11th to December the 8th. The other thing about Venus in this part of the sky is you might just find yourself really focused a lot on your spiritual life and what you want to accomplish in terms of what, you know, turns you on spiritually. Sometimes she can be in this position about a kind of retreat of some kind that is important to your soul, because you're going to retreat, but in a way that is for you enjoyable, you know, just a time of retreating from the world. So keep that in mind as well. She'll be in Capricorn all the way through till December the 8th, and she'll be busy interacting with Pluto as well a little bit. So we'll be talking about that shortly. Well, I may as well bring it up now since I'm here. You know, there's a tight little time frame here between the dates of, right? Keep this in mind, November 11th and the 20th, when she's co-present with Pluto in our 12th house. And that could be huge spiritual transformation, but it's also a wealth yoga. And, we do generate money from that 12th house. It's international barter, trade, and revenue. In our modern day, we have PayPal, Stripe, and digital income. It can also be about foreign business deals and working with foreigners and getting business opportunities from foreign companies. And Venus is money and Pluto is power. And therefore, those things are on the increase. If you make digital income, borderless revenue, Pluto, Venus, both in direct motion in your 12th house, is going to rise that level of success even further up than you've ever had before. So keep that possibility in mind in the tighter window of November 11th to the 20th. All right. All right. So, a bird's trying to fly over my window, and it was a crow. Okay. We had a crow message for us Aquarius is in that very moment of power, wealth, and foreign lands. It doesn't discount retreat, by the way. You still get rich in a retreat setting while you're selling something while you're sleeping on your digital processors, but who knows? On the really off chance you have hidden female enemies, I mean, Pluto, powerful, rich, female, watch out for powerful, rich female hidden enemies too on the 11th of November through to the 20th. Just an off chance of that weird delineation being off, somehow true for you. Last planetary story before we show you the chart and break it down bit by bit is to talk a little bit about Mercury's long stay in Sagittarius. Last seen in November, December of 2017 in an elemental fire year is Mercury's 2-month stay in the sign of Sag. He enters in that part of the sky on November 2nd. He does not leave until January the 8th. This long stay is because of retrogradation on November 26th at 22 Sag. Now, when Mercury is in Sagittarius, and that's a part of our career gains house, and this is communication, ideas, in marketing, merchandising, there can be a lot of social activity connected to career escalation. There can be a lot of communication in your career space, a lot of coworker, colleague conversations, activity. But certainly when Mercury's here, he's flowing to our Aquarian nature in a sextile. He's flowing to our house of audience and marketplace, our Leo 7th house. It gives us a nice glow up in our ability to message and to speak and to be communicating to larger groups of people, into a larger audience sphere of influence of some sort. So it gives us greater social power, social proof, social influence of some sort. And it's a long stay, and he will retrograde on November 26th through to like 3 weeks, right, into December. And that's where we're going to pull back and revise whatever this excitement is all about. What we're going to do is we're going to change things. And if you go back to November, December of 2017, you might be able to see similar patterns emerge in your sky at that time. Just go back and try to remember that. All right. And here's a sweet spot with him. He'll be with Venus, who's also in Sag, between November 2nd and 11th, golden time. November 2nd to the 11th is beautiful time for your career gains, for speaking, for communicating, for things you're sharing with larger groups of belonging, for just a general career and reputation glow up, as well as an increase in social activity and group influence. Again, November 2nd to the 11th is the Venus and Mercury together in your 11th house. All right, so let's go ahead and break it down. I'm going to show you the sky. We're going to go through the stuff together, step by step, and get a pen or a paper. It might be handy for you to keep track of everything I'm about to share here. So let's start off with the beginning of the month of November. It is intense. The first 3 days are really, really intense. Pluto will be in an opposition to Mars at 29 degrees of Cancer. It is the last Mars-Pluto opposition in our lifetimes. What is Mars doing? He's in the house of health and work and pets and rentals. And he's opposite Pluto in the house of self-undoing, addictions, and sabotage. Yet it's also a wealth place. As I mentioned, Pluto in the 12th house could be keenly activating our Aquarian digital revenue, foreign border revenue, foreign land wealth. And then Mars is like, okay, I'm burning out over here and I'm quite emotional, right? And so there may be an emotional break, emotional shift on November 1st to the 3rd around addictions, around work, about wealth and power. There's a kind of a kite in the sky here. We'll see that at the same time that this duel is happening between Mars and Pluto, that we have a triangle here, this blue one. Wait, yeah. and that makes a kite. And that triangle is water trine energy. And it's positive and it's fortunate and it's flowing and it's filled with grace and goodness. Well, it is literally Neptune in the house of earnings, possessions, and resources. And he's going retrograde, things from the past, but clear-sightedness, flowing to Mars, who wants to make some changes and some new directions in the work and job settings, and flowing, and the health and food style stuff as well, especially around addictions, and Mars flowing in a beautiful trine to Mercury and Scorpio at the top of your sky. Mercury is always investigating, finding out what's true. And this is your house of your career and your reputation. And so this energy is going to offer up what we call an Artha trine. It's like money, work, and career, reputation glow, but anchored by a very intense Mars opposition to Pluto. And I'll be covering this in more depth with the asteroids and stars on my channel. If anybody needs to listen to it, it's you guys. So definitely like, subscribe, and watch the coverage of the first week of November on my Monday video that week. But all said and done, if it doesn't break, doesn't break you, it makes you stronger. Something is got to give here. There's going to be a major turning point, mostly in career, work, and money matters. I almost see some of us flying off the handle and quitting our jobs. Okay, but we'll see, or quitting like some kind of substance abuse permanently, like, having one episode of clarity and you're done. Now, as we move forward, November the 3rd to the 4th, now Venus is having a conversation with Jupiter that's going to be reiterated later with Mercury. So keep in mind, there's something happening early November that takes place again in the middle of November. I'll share that in a minute. Venus is discussing with Jupiter in an opposition, something to do with money luck, winning money, your children, fertility, entrepreneurial projects, and things that may connect you to your friendship circles, your career gains, and your elder sibling. This is where Venus is sitting, and she's having this challenging chat with Jupiter. But Venus is in a house that's called Pennies from Heaven. Jupiter is in charge of what she does from the house of money wins or greater money fortunes or good fortunes around finances as well. And you can also look at the fact that there's a chironic wedge forming. Chiron is at the tip of a wedge that Jupiter and Venus are creating in the 3rd house. So there can be some breakthroughs as well here around healing a chironic wound around writing, traveling, communicating, messaging, and online social media platforms. And a big healing happens, but it seems to be happening through like almost a windfall, grace, good luck, good fortune vibe. There's a bit of tension, but Jupiter and Venus, even in an opposition, bring positive and lucky things. Let's see what happens. The new moon, I forgot to mention, happens at 9 degrees of Scorpio on November 1st. And you're still in the aftermath of that new beginning in the career space. I mean, most new moons are just new moons, a new way of doing your career and reputation in Scorpio, and you start to the 10th house stories. No big deal, really. But because this is also a new beginning at 9 degrees of Scorpio, it does flow to Saturn in the earnings and resources. So there's a positive new way that's stabilizing and enduring and realistic for you to start a career path in a new direction, to get a new job in the next 2 weeks after this or 6 months after it. There's a general feeling of Saturn navigating you towards something new in your career and earning structures. And the new moon participates in that as well. If you don't have a career and you're retired, then what are you doing in the visible world? Because what you do that everyone sees you doing is about to change over the 2 weeks and 6 months after the November 1st new moon. The sun is trining Saturn on November 3rd and 4th. Saturn is the lord of your sky. You're Aquarian, and he's your boss. Saturn in the money and earnings house is giving you form and structure, discipline, and hard work and realism around your money, earnings, and career matters. I incorporated under this influence, and he is flowing to the sun in the 10th house of career. I mean, it's just a nice vibe. Something you're doing in the high noon of the sky is getting visibly successful and good for your money around November 3rd and 4th. If you're not employed and you're looking for a job, it could be a breakthrough. On November the 9th, Venus will be in a square to retrograde Neptune, who is traveling since 2011 in your second house of money and earnings. It's been very foggy in that money house. You're never sure what's real or Memorex, but now we have a retrogradation that indicates you're having more clear-sightedness. The mist and fog has risen. You know what's realistic here, what's true, and what some of your long-range money dreams could be. And as this Venus squares this Neptune, she's having a contradictory conversation from the house of groups, friends, allies, benefactors, elder sibling, and career gains themselves. Venus is still a benefic, but she has a point of contention with Neptune. And you might have to come to some even more further realism. Saturn's also retrograde and pulling back in terms of some of your dreams, goals, and ambitions around career gains during the smaller window of November the 9th. You may have to revise a structure that you were putting into place for money and make a change. I hope that's not me saying I'm going to be delayed on my November 17th production schedule because boy, am I busy. Now, on November the 16th to the 19th, we have 15th to the 19th, we have a lot going on. A full moon at 24 degrees on November 15th at 24 degrees of Taurus. This is a full moon that happens to be relating itself to Uranus. It's conjunct Uranus, shock and awe, on Elgo, surprise, maybe wealth, maybe someone's going to lose their head, but it's in the house of children. And South Node's in the house of grandchildren. So, oh my God, I'm going to be a grandparent. Oh my God, I'm so shocked and surprised that I won the lottery. Or, oh my God, full moon light on something to do with your entrepreneurial or creative projects. Fulfillment, completion, endings can happen over the course of the 2 weeks after the moon full in your fifth house of entrepreneurial, creative endeavors. Children, grandchildren can be born here. And you may also find that the full moon is also about completions of something, but also fulfillments, fulfilling a promise to you. The full moon trines and sextiles. So it sextiles Neptune. No, what am I saying? Oh my God, my brain. The full moon's in Taurus. I take that all back. Cut. I don't know, not time to edit. The full moon is in Taurus, not in Gemini. I have no idea what I was thinking. The full moon is in Taurus, and Taurus is a part of your chart that has to do with home, land, property, and real estate. I don't know if I'm going to have time to edit, so please forgive me. I need to get this out so that I can get my other stuff done. So we do have a full light in the house of land, home, property, and real estate, and completion. This is indicating a probable move, a relocation of some sort, a completion of your home, an ending of your home. But it flows to Neptune, so end of one home to open to a dream home, a visionary goal, an ideal home. Like Neptune's by the sea and water, and land is land, water, sea, home. But there's something about a fulfillment around home. And normally it's just a full moon in the fourth house. I wouldn't go there, but the full moon is also on Algol, and it's the well star, and it's where the Mars conjunction was in July, promising anyway in the 2 years that follow a new home. So I'm going to say there's a new home for us Aquarians, and it's going to happen pretty much within 6 months of this full moon that's going to occur, as I mentioned, on the 15th of the month of November. You might have evidence about how and where in the 2 weeks to follow, but a real move may not take place for 6 months. Now, on November the 16th to the 19th, November 16th to the 19th, in that energy field, we're going to see that Mercury is now squabbling with Jupiter, just like Venus did on November 3rd and 4th. Holy man, now Mercury, not in his dignity, no details guy. He's got like visions and ideas and big speech, but no fine print, is moving through your 11th house of good spirit, good house, and he is going to talk to Neptune and try to have a communications with him in Neptune's house. I mean, in Jupiter's house, Jupiter. So he's opposite Jupiter. He's talking to Jupiter and having a conversation in Jupiter's house to Jupiter, who's exiled. I don't know. I kind of feel like you might find yourself in a very intense discussion with an elder sibling, siblings, children, romantic partners. And Mercury wants something out of this. And it is at your house of career gains and groups of belonging and friends, and they want something out of this story. And Jupiter is wise and knowing and retrograding. It reminds me of the Britney Spears song, Piece of Me, you know, you want a piece of me. Some people are wanting pieces of you in social group settings, and you may not want to be there. Jupiter's retrograde. He's inner guidance. He's the guru within. He's in the house of good spirit, of good fortune, and he's flowing to your Aquarius Plutonian energy that's becoming activated by the 19th. I don't know. It's almost like you just don't want to do anything social with people who want you to be very social. It's that simple. And you may be feeling the same way November 3rd and 4th, and you're feeling again even more so that way on the 16th to the 19th. You're too busy with that full moon, by the way, who's lighting up that home and house story. Maybe you just don't want to be out there with your friends doing social things, doing career and social things, and you're just having to deal with the friction between the obligations or the asks and your ability to or desire to fulfill it. Jupiter can be very creative, and you're doing creative projects or entrepreneurial projects, and he's retrograde, so you're going deep. And, you know, you're really working it. And then this stupid Chironic wound keeps activating too in the house of siblings, local neighbors, neighborhood stories, writing projects. I mean, maybe you're just busy writing something. You have no social life. You need to get this done. And that looks like November 16th to the 19th. On November 21st to the 22nd, the sun is flowing to Pluto. Hey, sun is flowing to a Pluto now in our sign, Aquarius. We have Pluto. We are holding on for dear life. We are becoming Plutonian. And at 0 degrees, Pluto is sitting there, and the sun will have moved to 0 Sag. It's a bit of a beautiful feeling. It's like some kind of accomplishment regarding long-range dreams and goals, regarding career gains and rewards, regarding favors from friends and allies. It's just a good vibe, and you're feeling glowed up on November 21st to the 22nd in career-related and dream and goal-related matters, and that you have put the power and life force into creating. Venus at the very same time, November 21 to 22, is in a sextile relationship, which is flowing in the nature of herself. It brings good luck. And Venus is flowing to Saturn. So remember, Venus is going into Boss Babe Capricorn, right, on the November 11th Remembrance Day. And now she finally moves forward enough that she talks to Saturn, who's in your second house of money. And he is now direct as of the 15th. So direct motion movement regarding earnings and resources and possessions from this Venus in the 12th house. Now, because of the Uranus thing, you may want to possess a new home in a foreign land. But if it's not something like that, November 21, 22, a greater financial gain from far off foreign shores and lands as a money goddess in your 12th house, close to Saturn, who's stable and enduring in the house of earning. So there's a nice, gradual, easy, enduring stable money increase for you on November 21 and 22. Or finally, you might want to do something that's going to generate money from what Venus does back here. She could be writing a book. She could be doing a painting. She could be crafting a song. Venus in your 12th house is very, let me get down with my private solace and alone time so I can get things done in the backroom deals and negotiation part of my reality by myself without other people around me. And November 26th to the 27th, we go into a sun trine Saturn moment, a trine Mars moment. Now, you know, the sun brings light to wherever the sun goes. And by November 26th and 27th, the sun has migrated or moved onward into a new place in our sky. The trine energy that we're seeing is a fire trine. Mars is in Leo, your 7th house, and the sun is firing all cylinders from the 3rd week of November to December in your 11th house of good spirit. This is really good energy for you guys, November 26th, 27th, for outreach to an audience and marketplace that has great success, for some travel opportunity. No, let's go with, it can be travel because of the flow, some destined travel opportunity, short or long distance, connected to a significant long-term love relationship, maybe uniting you after a time of separation, November 26th, 27th. Some real superior energies regarding career gains and visions and goals coming true, dreams come true, desires for career success coming true, 11th house solar activity. But also because of the trine to Mars, it's also connecting you to new audiences and clients and business partnerships. And a dreamy business partnership or alliance or collaboration can even emerge on November 26th to the 27th. Finally, at the end of the month, there is a new moon on November the 30th. It's at 9 Sagittarius. Oh, I know Sagittarius sky, 11th house is very busy for us, but it's up here. Now, by the time we get to that moon on November 30th, right, we are no longer seeing Venus up there, but we certainly have Mercury retrograde. So opportunities from your past connected to career gains and goals and dreams for one's life are coming to you off of a new beginning, fresh start, 9-degree moon. You may even go back to old colleague, co-workers, visions and goals and dreams, or ways of having career gains that you've done in the past. The new moon can incite returns to those ideas from your past, as well as getting emails, phone calls, and texts from people from your past in your colleague, co-worker, career, and career success stories. And that new moon flies into being or emerges November 30th. It will last for 6 months until the full moon in Sag, and will also show up in the first 2 weeks of December with tangible results of what the hell this new beginning, new moon is about. And it is ruled by Jupiter in the 5th house of prosperity and luck and good fortune. And Jupiter is telling that moon what to do. So, because he witnesses the moon. And this new beginning, new moon can reinforce new beginnings with friends and bring new friendships that you have never had before, brand new friendships into your life. And if you're going to get those brand new friendships in your life with the retrograde Mercury, they are people from your past, but they're new in a way that the friendship may be new. You know how we all got that. We met somebody at a party, but we never got a real friendship going, or we met someone years ago, but we never established a real connection. So new friendships from old connections are coming for us as Aquarian risings from a new moon with a retrograde Mercury. And this kind of vibe happened also back in November, December 2017. And you may have found that some new friendships emerged, but from people that you may have also connected to in the past. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Don't forget to help my channel grow so that I can continue to produce content for you here. I'm going to learn to work smarter, not harder next year, but I'll still be here on YouTube. So check it out. My my All Signs bundle, and check out my Patreon community where they're getting this early access ad-free today, October the 18th. Plus you get more contact, more classes, more Zoom calls with me. And it's all very affordable in my membership community at patreon.com/lunatic astrology. Check me out there as well. Bye, everyone. Happy November.